Welcome to this episode of the Gunman. This video will be taking you through the application of Standox VOC Topcoat on this Mitsubishi Outlander. So the paint code is W32, or there was that option code there which is about 10 digits long and I can't even remember it. So we'll just go with W32, and it's Alpine White is the name of the colour. So this is what we're using, which is a direct gloss paint. So it's a single stage, and we're using the medium hardener, which is 1020 there. You can see, even just as I'm pouring it out, it's extremely thick. So you mix it up to a 3:1 ratio, the Standox VOC Topcoat, and then to 15% reducer, which is what I'm squirting out of that bottle there. So 3 parts paint, 1 part hardener, 15% of the volume of that, then added with reducer. It's very important you go 15%, because I actually used to use Glazurate. They used to have a 22 line is the name of it, and that was always 2:1 and 10%. So a couple of times I'd forgot the first time I used this. I just thought, oh yeah, it must be just 10% like the Glazurate. But then after actually reading the label and the can, it actually is 15%, so it's very important you go that 15%, or else it's way too thick. It just makes it really hard to come out of the gun, and you get a very orange peely finish. So with this Standox, and then all you do is you just filter it straight into your gun. So I thought I'd include that part in this video just for something different. I don't always include the paint mixing, but it's a pretty simple step for this top coat. So gives me a full pot here, and on this job we're painting a bonnet or a hood. We're also doing a front bumper bar and a fender, driver's side fender. So first up, I've got my DeVilbiss D wipeouts is what they call them, which is these lint-free cloths. So if you don't have these, you can just replace them just by normal rags, but you just got to be careful that those rags have little bits of lint and stuff that get left behind, so you must give it an extremely good an extra tack rag over if you don't use these rags. So I use that rag, and then I flip it back over to a cleaner spot and re-wipe over that part again until it's completely dried off. So I've sped this up to twice speed, which I usually do on my prep work on my vids, and just to stop the vids from getting too long. But once we start spraying, I'll slow it down to normal speed. So there was actually a guy commented on one of the other vids I did a Lamborghini 3-stage peel recently, uploaded that video, and one of my subscribers asked, he said, oh, do you do any single stage? So I decided to upload one of these videos, because I come to think of it, I thought, oh, hold on, most of my other videos are actually all clear over base jobs, so I thought I'd put a single stage paint one in there for you so you can check it out. There's a few advantages to it. Like it's a lot easier in the application. You don't have to worry about your base coat, then your clear coat. It's just 2 coats of this, and then off you go. Job done. So obviously I've missed a little bit of masking under there, so I picked up on that one. So I was wiping it down with the degreaser, and next up we'll get the air blower, high pressure air, and blow over the whole panels at the same time as wiping it down with the tack cloth I was mentioning about before. I like to go over them twice, every panel, go over it twice with the tack cloth. If I'm doing a race spray, I'll go over the whole thing 3 or even 4 times, because it's the last thing that's going to stop any bits of dust before you paint. Like you see some guys, and they do put all that effort, you put so many hours in that into your prep work, but then they get into the spray booth and they spend 5 minutes with the tack rag and they get dust all through their job. And I say, I was actually taught when I was an apprentice, the tradesman, he always said, it's all in the tack rag, it's all in the tack rag, and he just kept making you remember it's all in the tack rag. So you just speed up your prep work, speed up all the other steps if you want, but slow down when it comes to tack rag. Just give them an extra tack rag, and your jobs will come out much better if you do that. So First up, we'll set the gun up. So this is the DeVilbiss GTI Pro with the T2 air cap on it I'm using. So I've wound that right in, and now I've come out 1, 2, 2.5 turns. Had a look at it, I'm not quite happy with that. Gave it another half turn, 3 turns. It's a pretty standard setting for these guns. 3 turns is usually enough. The reason I had it wound right out was because I was using base coat. This is one of my base coat guns. It's a colour gun, so when you're using base coat, I usually like to have them wound out a touch more, but when you're doing top coat or clear coat, have it two winds out. Sorry, 3 winds out. So this is all. It's pretty straightforward. This VOC. It's just like clear coat really. You put the one coat on, then leave it for 5 minutes and come back and put your second coat on. So what ended up happening on this bonnet was, for some reason, I don't even know why it happened. I did every step correctly. I filtered the paint into the gun. As you saw, I blew the panel up extremely well, and for some reason there was these tiny little spots throughout the whole bonnet. They weren't silicone holes, they were like high spots, so they were like little bits of dust, tiny little bits of dust landing in it. And you know what, I just thought, hey, I could edit that out. I could edit that kind of stuff out, make out as if I'm perfect and nothing never goes wrong. But these videos are for the sake of educational videos, to teach people how I do the job. And if I edit that kind of stuff out, well then it's not being real to how I'm doing the job. So after putting that first coat on just then, I saw those little bits of dust, so I decided I'll come back, I'll get my coat on my bumper bar, and then I'll come back to that bonnet and put a heavier, wetter coat over that bonnet. And basically you're drowning those bits of dust. You're making it so that those bits of dust are still actually there, but your paint actually goes above and higher than those little bits of dust. So at the end you won't actually end up seeing them. So I come straight back over to this bonnet, and they say, the manufacturer's specifications to paint this 2K VOC Topcoat is just one coat and then another coat straight away. I prefer to leave it for a minute or maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but they do actually say to, because it's a VOC, it's extremely thick and you get really good coverage out of it. They just say one coat and then straight away put your second coat on and that job's finished. But I do like to give it a minute in between. So you start at one point, so you'll start on, as I said, I started on the fender, did the bonnet, then I went and did the bar, and then come straight back to the start again, and then go back around. So I'm dropping the pressure down a bit, which is going to make the paint go on a bit thicker. But if you hold the gun a bit closer, you shouldn't end up with too much orange peel. So apologies about the camera going in and out of focus on the spray gun here, but I decided to leave it in, not edit it out, just because you can still see it most of the time. It's just whites are actually quite difficult to watch the colour go on, because you don't get the reflection of the light like you do on the darker colours. So you got to get your head right down and get the eye into the light so that you can get the reflection and actually watch the paint going on, which is what I'm doing there, where it goes out of focus a touch. But I think all in all, it's actually the video work is actually quite good, and I think it's better than just being on a tripod in the corner, which I don't really use much of anymore. At the start I did a lot of the tripods, and I've been using the GoPro lately and been pretty happy with the results. There's a few times it seems bonnets and roofs and stuff like that. Might have to see if I can adjust it up a bit. It seems like my camera's taking a little bit too far down when I'm doing stuff like that. So hopefully we can get an improvement on the video quality on bonnets in the future, but it is most of the time okay. So same thing, we go straight back over to this bumper bar, put our next coat on, and that's it. So you really can see the advantages to this the VOC Topcoat. It's one of those things. There's so many different names for it. People call it direct gloss, people call it 2K, people call it VOC. It's yeah, whatever the paint system and who you work with depends on what you're going to call it. So. I sprayed my own car in clear over base, but I did it solid because I just decided I wanted the depth of the clear coat, because you're looking, when you do a clear coat job, you're actually looking through the clear, but for some of the jobs, this is all it needs, is this stuff. I think that the clear coat has a bit more UV resistance to it, whereas a white, you're not going to need that. It just still does have UV resistance in the 2K, but yeah, it's not quite as good. It will go a touch chalky over time, more so than the clear coat. So at the very end, we've got a quick look at the car coming up soon. We've also then got a couple of links to a couple of my other popular vids. Check them out if you haven't already seen them. Give my channel a subscribe too if you like it. Give the vid a like, give it a dislike if you don't like it. Let me know your thoughts, give us feedback. Always welcome to hear it. Any questions, I'll do my best to answer. Check out my Facebook page if you haven't already seen it. There's a link down there in the comments box to my Facebook page. So you can see that actually came out quite nice after putting that third coat on, which you don't usually put on. So just when you've loaded so much paint on that bonnet, which I did, you just got to be careful. You don't want to hit bakes straight away. You can end up getting some solvent boil and trapping the solvents in there, and it will end up you'll get some bubbles in the paint. So I gave that about 10 minutes prior to baking. So this is the car when it's done. Another tricky thing can be colour matching on white, which you can see I nailed that one. So fender to the door looks real good. Thanks again for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.